Hi everyone, my name is Lily. I'm the book reviewer behind Utopia State of Mind, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my Libro.fm sales picks for the month of June for the Romance Book Club. If you saw the first video I posted about the YA Book Club, this is the same format. I'm just going to be talking about the Romance Book Club picks. If you don't know about Libro.fm, I will explain that to you. And then I will start talking about the romance books. And I also will be talking about some sale audiobooks that I didn't see in either the YA or the romance book club list because those are curated lists. So I will talk about those at the end as well. Additionally, with some kind of extra promotions and extra special things that are going on in June for Libro.fm's 10th anniversary. If you didn't know, basically every month I go through the Libro.fm sale audiobook picks and I tell you which ones I'd recommend, which ones are on my TBR. I personally am obsessed with Libro.fm. I just want to mention as well that all links in the description box will be affiliate links. If you don't want to use them, that's fine. Just search Libro.fm and then whatever book title I'm using. Also, this is not like sponsored content. This is just because I listen to a lot of audiobooks every month. A lot of people ask how I'm able to listen and read as much in a month. I'm constantly listening to audiobooks, whether that be when I'm brushing my teeth at night or in the morning or doing dishes, making food, like when I'm crocheting. I'm just listening to audiobooks all the time. I barely listen to music in that sense, so listening to music is a treat. But I'm listening to audiobooks basically all the time, and so that's why I love to talk about Libro.fm. If you don't know anything about Libro.fm, I'm just going to do my quick pitch about it first and how it works, then we'll talk about the sale audiobooks. So first of all, Libro.fm is an independent audiobook service. It works as a subscription model where you pay $14.99 per month, and that gives you 1 credit for an audiobook of that month. If you are an active member, which means you're currently paying that subscription, you'll get an additional 30% off on any sale audiobooks you buy, including all of the books that I'm mentioning. I'm an active member, active paying member, so often I get the prices mixed up, but I'm going to try not to do that for this video. But if you're an active member, you get 30% off. If you're not a paying member, you can still buy the audiobooks. All the audiobooks are yours forever once you buy them. And also, as I said, Libro.fm is an independent audiobook platform, so it also serves and helps support independent bookstores. When you create an account, but you need an account, even if you're not a paying member, you still need an account to get the audiobooks. When you get an account, you're able to pick an independent bookstore that you're partnering with or that you are donating some of the profits for that specific audiobook. My bookstore right now is Books of Wonder, which is my favorite children's/YA bookstore in New York City. And let's see, what else do I have to say? I'm trying to get this faster. I really should have a separate intro that I use for every month of these. I think that's all. Next, we're going to talk about the Kiss Club, which are the romance picks. Oops, there are so many tabs open on my computer right now. Okay, the first is The Blonde Identity. This is by Ali Carter. I have not read this one, but I remember when this came out, I was very intrigued. I feel like Ali Carter has written a bunch, or had written a bunch of like YA novels. I can't remember. Oh, The Gallagher Girls, which I have not read. But I thought we saw a bunch of trend where like authors who were known for YA books or other genre books started writing romance. I'm thinking about Meg Cabot as well. So The Blonde Identity is something that I've heard a bunch about, but I've not read it. Very, very interested in this one. It says from one of an author's Spies, Amnesia, and Banter, so I'm intrigued. It's also under $4, so definitely intrigued at that price point. The next one is Fancy Meeting You Here. The author has written a bunch of different books that I've really enjoyed and that I've kept up with, like The Donut Trap and Circling Back to You. This one is about, she is a bridesmaid and a florist to her friend's wedding, and so she's been asked to do a lot of work, and also her flower shop isn't doing very well. And then later, her friend's brother ends up coming in because he's like a politics family, and he's basically just like, you're taking on too much, you need to have limits with your friends, I want to help you, and also please design the flowers for my mom's campaign. I feel like I put the cart before the horse a little bit in that synopsis, because it's like, please help me, with my mom's campaign, but also Let's Fall in Love, obviously. I really like that one. But I like in general, you'll notice this in my reviews, I like in general characters who are struggling to put down limits. This is me, basically. The next one is The Charm Offensive, which is such a cute story. It's about like reality TV. It's queer. Basically, it's about a tech who kind of falls in love with the producer of the reality TV show. It is the first book of the author that I read, and also then started reading all of this author's books. This person who doesn't really want to be on the reality TV show, but it's kind of this last ditch effort. He is the tech wonder kid, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And so then he essentially then falls in love with his producer, who is kind of the one who's kind of helping all of the people who are contestants get through this series and kind of, you know, scheduling, where do you go, what do you wear, how are you doing kind of thing. And so then they're obviously fighting their chemistry because he's on a dating show. So that's not what they're supposed to be doing. It was just so cute and swoony. The next one is Once Ghosted, Twice Shy, which is a novella. It is by Alyssa Cole, and it's from the Reluctant Royal series, which I really loved. And it's a novella that goes into the characters, I'm pretty sure, and into the series as a whole. I think it's about the bodyguard for one of the princes in the Reluctant Royal series. So if you're a fan of the Reluctant Royal series and you haven't picked up this novella, definitely think about reading this in audiobook form. Now I want to chat about just kind of sale audiobooks, which I didn't see in these ones, which makes sense because the YA and the Kiss Club playlists are kind of curated playlists as well. They're sale playlists, but they're also not all of, for example, the YA books or not all of the romance books that are on sale. So one of the ones, or some of the ones I wanted to highlight are now. Sorry also if you can hear the fact that my building decided to basically hose off. I don't even know what they're hosing off, but just the entire time we've been filming. So I hope you can't hear it. But anyway, I want to talk about Wicked and the Wallflower, which is the first of the Bare Knuckle Bastards book. I wanted to mention this because I think in the past videos, which the sale is not valid anymore, but I don't think it is. In the past videos, I've talked about various other ones in this series which are on sale, but now book 1 is on sale, which is the Bare Knuckle Bastards stories. They're just really fun historical fiction romance books about mysterious strangers. So this one, for example, is about Lady Felicity Faircloth, who basically would like to land a duke and a mysterious stranger who is going to try to help set the trap for like a duke to become interested. There are a lot of kind of historical fiction premises where I'm kind of like, I don't understand this kind of, but I'm just going to go with it. And obviously, sparks fly. I've really, really enjoyed the Bare Knuckle Bastards series. And so I just wanted to mention this because it's book 1. The next one is one that's actually on my TBR, The Enchanted Hacienda. I've really been intrigued by this one. The author, I've read, I think some other books from them. I think YA books, if I'm not mistaken. YA books. And so this is an adult book. I don't know what it's about. So we're basically just going to be reading the synopsis together. But it's basically the main character is fired from her dream job, also on the rocks with her boyfriend, maybe ex-boyfriend at this point. And so she goes to the Enchanted Hacienda, Estrada family house in New York City. And there they have kind of Charm Flowers. It's magical, speculative fiction, contemporary, set in New York City. The next one is The Proposal. I read this one so long ago, I don't even remember what it is, except baseball. I just remember The Proposal, baseball. It is the first book that I've read from this author who wrote The Wedding Date. But yeah, it's about a writer who goes to a Dodgers game and her boyfriend proposes to her in front of like everywhere. And so she definitely wants to say no, but they're on live. like they're being broadcast on the entire scoreboard. And so someone obviously comes to her rescue, but she's also dealing with the social media fallout and also these like rebound sparks as well. The next one is the the Perfect Crimes of Marion Hayes, but I wanted to say that the first book, I have literally so many tabs open about Libro FM. Yes. So first, this is what I had to find out. The London Highwaymen series by Cat Sebastian, book 1 and book 2 are on sale. So book 2 is The Perfect Crimes of Marion Hayes. Book 1 is The Queer Principles of Kit Webb. Have to recommend this. If you love books that are Regency-esque, or are they Regency-esque? I don't know. They're historical fiction either way, but historical fiction books. The first one has a ton of letters, a ton of angsty letters. I love when books have letters in them. I'm going to feature another one, but I love when books have letters in them. And then the ones from The Queer Principles of Kit Webb, they were just so angsty and like so get you in the feels. That queer historical fiction is just about a reformed highwayman and an aristocrat. Like, who wants more, basically? Especially because the aristocrat is basically like, oh, I can totally hold a sword. And the highwayman's just like, no, you really can't. So cute. The reformed highwayman is definitely like, I will not participate in this robbery you have planned, but also, I will teach you, but you are almost beyond hope. And then the second one is called The Perfect Crimes of Marion Hayes. It is a sequel, but it's also more of a companion novel because you see some of the characters from the first one. They're involved, but they're not like heavily involved, and it's separate characters. So Marion Hayes is a duchess who just shot her husband. And so basically her husband was awful. That's why she shot him, obviously. So she's fleeing to the countryside, and the only person that she can ask for help is a charismatic criminal who's also blackmailing her. Fun plot twist. And so basically it's about her and the blackmailer, them trying to, there's like a cat and mouse banter kind of vibe to it. And also they're fleeing across the country, getting into all sorts of crimes together, and also probably falling in love. So I just loved both of these so much. I have no idea if more are coming from this series, but I want all of them. The next one I want to talk about is The Helion's Waltz. I feel like Feminine Pursuits, I feel like, is a series from Olivia Waite. I'm not exactly sure what else is in the series, but it's definitely a series. It's also historical fiction. It's queer. It's so sweet. It's about Sophie. Her family is kind of down because they lost their piano shop to a con man. They're trying to start new, but at the same time, she's very suspicious about one particular character who is basically trying to heist. So basically a con woman, and the con woman's trying to steal from a greedy person who is running an association of weavers and tailors. The next one is Just a Pinch of Magic, which is under $1. Under $1. This middle grade book is just so cute. It's about two unlikely friends. So of course it's a middle grade. So basically as well, it's about a family of enchanters. The main character is from enchanters who run a bakery. She's trying to save her family business, and by doing that, kind of things just ricochet and end up backfiring. And so there's an enchantment agency who are trying to come by and figure out what's happened. Also, there's, as I said, an unlikely friendship between her and another character, and they have to figure out can they do anything about it, and also can they be friends. So this was just so cute, and I knew I had to mention it because if you have a middle grade reader in your life, I personally, a little bit of story time, grew up on those listening to audiobooks while following along while reading. That helped me become such a good reader. And it helped me just be so absorbed in books to have like the life and the characters coming together while being able to read it. And so I just can't imagine, like, this would be such a good book to do that with a middle grade reader. So I had to mention that. Next, I want to talk about Daughter and Smoke of Bone. I read Daughter of Smoke and Bone, but I have not read the sequel at all. But if you are interested in this and heard a lot of hype about it, I wanted to mention that because it's under $10. It is the one on sale, so definitely this is one of those ones where if you want to pick up the series, definitely pick this up in audiobook. What is it even about? Oh god, I don't even remember. It's been so long. So basically, it's set in Prague. It's a magical fantasy story. She is a young art student, but who there's also, so as I said, it's a magical story, but there's also a lot of war going on at the moment. They're on the brink of war. And so basically, even though she's an art student, she's gonna get wrapped up in it. Like, you just can't escape it. But there are a ton of secrets and reveals and stuff in Daughter of Smoke and Bone, to the point in which I felt like the book ended on a note that was A, not expected, but B, incredibly almost like, is this the same book? So read it to find out. The next one is Herc. This is a Greek mythology retelling. It's a queer retelling of the story of Hercules. Definitely gonna get this one. It's less than $7. And also, this is one of the ones where, like, I've gotten it at the library. I've delivered the hold later, like 5 times at this point. I really want to read this. Not to mention, it's a full cast audio narration, so I'm just going to add it to my cart, like, right away. What else do you need to know besides it's a queer revisionist retelling of the story of Hercules? I don't need to know anymore. I now have just added it to my cart. Next one is Shipwreck. This is the 3rd book in the Spoiler Alert series, which basically kind of has this core cast, literal cast as an acting cast, at the heart. And so Spoiler Alert has sort of that jumping off point. Shipwrecked is the 3rd one. It has a different character jumping off point. And so it's about basically 2 actors who are co-stars. It has kind of a thing where, like, she has a one-night stand, and then randomly she finds out that that person is going to be her co-star in the, what is the name of the TV show? Gods of the Gates, co-star. They're both trying to have this TV show succeed for a variety of reasons. And it also takes place over basically the whole span of Gods of the Gates. So definitely a slow burn, angst, but it is good once it starts burning. That's all I'm going to say about that. The next is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Basically, if you've seen all the hype about Before the Coffee Gets Cold, this might be your chance to do it. It's under $7. It's just such a cute book about, I love the premise, which is this idea that you're in a magical coffee shop. You're able to go back into the past, into a course where you've been at the coffee shop, and you only have until the time before the coffee gets cold to go back into the past for that. The next one is How to End a Love Story. This is a recent release. This one was interesting because it kind of starts with a very much, are you going to be doomed and, like, literally never be able to be together? It's a dual narrator, dual perspective. It's about a main character, 2 main characters, obviously. So it's about one character who hasn't seen the other character in 13 years because he was involved in the tragic accident and death of her sister, which is kind of like, how are you going to get over this? She is an author, and then basically her book is being turned into a TV adaptation, and he is a screenwriter who is assigned to this TV adaptation. So lots of emotional stuff is going to happen in this one, and does happen in this one. The next is The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, which is on sale. This is the other one, which has letters. Letters. It's kind of like a You've Got Mail, even though they're not rival bookstore owners, meets Supernatural, basically. So Hart is a marshal. He is kind of like marshal in the sense of kind of Wild West marshal. And then Mercy is an undertaker, and they have been penning letters to a friend. And they have this anonymous letter relationship, but also in the non-anonymous sphere, they're also going to be butting heads, because really they don't like each other in person. So What could possibly happen? It is so, I love this book so much. And I'm so happy that this is an audiobook and it is on sale. The next one is This Could Be Us. I read This Could Be Us, really loved it. It's about basically a woman. She finds out that her husband has kind of lost all of their financial security because he has been accused of financial crime. What is it called? When basically you've been stealing money from a company that you work at. He's been accused of that. And in the blink of an eye, all of her daughter's safety, security, money, financial security, all of that is kind of thrown out the window. And then she's supposed to figure out how to reconcile those feelings. But also the person who's basically the financial forensic accountant, that's the love interest in this story. And it's actually dual perspective, but that is the other character in the story. And so he is trying to help her, but also trying to help her untangle this mess and figure out how she can be okay in this mess, even if her husband is not. The next one is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, which is the first in the cozy fantasy romantasy series by Kimberly Lemming. It's interesting. I was thinking about this series the other day. It manages to balance, oh my god, there are dragons, and also maybe a mysterious demon. Maybe the world could possibly end, but also like a coziness in the sense that we know it's a romance story first and foremost, set in a fantasy world. But we know because of the romance genre conventions, things are going to be okay. The spice, good. The character dynamics in this are so fun. So that's kind of like the main center focus for the novel, the characters. And then this fantasy world sort of feels like this setting, but also kind of the bigger world plot behind these two characters who are just so cute. The next one, there's so many audiobooks. The next one is Written in the Stars. Basically, Alexandria Bellafleur has written one before this, but I don't remember what it's called. But this is a sequel/companion novel. It's a queer rom-com. It's about basically two characters. One is actually the sister to one of the characters from the first novel. And so she had that her brother basically has been trying to play matchmaker. And then I guess they randomly get connected with a different character who's friends in this world, who is an astrologer behind a Twitter account called Oh My Stars. So they kind of pretend that they're fake dating. And who doesn't love a queer rom-com fake dating, help me get my brother off my back, but kind of, even though we are so different as people, we could also be super cute together. Okay, the next one is The Roommate Risk by Talia Hibbert. I'm a huge Talia Hibbert fan. I have not read The Roommate Risk. Have I been saying roommate? It's roommate. I have not read The Roommate Risk. It's on my list. It was a relatively recent release in terms of audiobook, dual perspective. Talia Hibbert is an excellent spice author. I really love Talia's books. It's also obviously going to have to do with roommates. It's going to be, I haven't read this one, so I'm just reading this aloud for all of it. Oh, okay. So they've been best friends for 7 years. He obviously loves her, but now she's going to live with him. Because what could possibly go wrong with being in love with your best friend and also now living with her? What could go wrong? The last two things I wanted to mention, which I mentioned before. Right now, there's a buy one, get one free. So basically, for a limited time, if you go to the link, you'll be able to pick 2 books, which you could get for 1 credit. So basically, if you have a membership, you could get 2 books for the price of 1. I wanted to mention that. Throughout June, they're going to be adding more books to the selection. But already, for example, I can see that the 5th season is there. The 5th season is one of the best science fantasy but speculative fiction books I've ever read, by N.K. Jemisin. So definitely wanted to mention that one. And secondly, it is the 10th anniversary for Libro.fm. They're going to be doing weekly giveaways. I will also link that down below, and you can enter the giveaways. They're going to be all US only except for one. I think that they said it's going to start on the 24th. Also, they have special merch for it. coming out, which are super, super cute if you want to support independent bookstores and also audiobooks. So that brings me to the end of this extremely long video, but hopefully you saw some books that you want to pick up as you saw if you saw the video. I also saw books I want to pick up. But anyway, comment down below what audiobook you are listening to currently, and I will see you in the next video where we're not talking. This month in particular, we just had a ton of audiobooks that were on sale that I wanted to mention. So hopefully that helped at least one person in this video.